Rolling. Hopefully everyone's having a wonderful day and ready to start the day off fresh. We've got a pretty decent size move down in the Globex session. Just recently off of the news, we just had that the jobs report, the ADP non-farm employment came out. It was expected 150, came out 235,000, better than expected. And the market did not like that and pushed down. So we can see here, I mean, if you really look at this chart, right? I mean, not much change really, right? Actual 127, and then this month we've jumped up big time to 235. So they missed last time on this. Yeah, so I mean, a pretty decent sized miss, I guess. Um, as far as like for the projection. So this may just be an emotional reaction. It is key to notice, excuse me, that sell-off didn't break the previous day's low. And so as of right now, we have, this virgin point of control below us. We're kind of pulling into an area that we saw act as support yesterday, which is kind of like the middle of this lower range of balance. And really just balance rules are in place until we get a break of balance. So and then we also have another virgin point of control above us that's kind of holding us down. So either or, I think, as far as a break and hold on the opposite side. So if we get a break below this 36, well, I mean, that's tough to say because there's even some opportunity down here where I could be expecting some people to buy. But really, I think if we don't get below, or if we do get below this 36, then there's probably good odds that we come down and try to repair this poor low. And then the same kind of thing here. If we get above this 3904, then there's probably decent odds that we, start trying to fill the gap up here where we have another virgin point of control right inside of another gap. So kind of an interesting market today so far as we're getting ready to head in. We do have some economic data coming out as the session continues. Fed Bostic is going to be on the mic in 3 minutes, so that there could be some market moving there. And then we also have global PMI, global composite PMI, 28 minutes. So that's going to be at 9:45. Services PMIs at the same time. And then we have crude oil inventories later in the day. And they're pushed back to Thursday this week because of the day off on Monday, right? Because of the holiday. So but other than that, not much going on around the market. We can kind of expect to open up on a little bit of a negative breath, just because you see the settles up here, 74. Market's trading about 20 handles lower. That's telling us that, most likely we will see some negative breath off of the open. Most there's not really nothing, or not really nothing, not really much that we can do about that. We'll just pay attention to it and mark where it starts. One thing that I do want to know, and if we switch this maybe over to like a 5-minute, just so we can see all day yesterday, you can kind of see like the tick for the most part until later on in the day, right? Until later on in the day when the minutes came out. This was right at 2 o'clock. We stayed pinned for the most part above the zero line. And to me, I feel like the only thing that can be causing this is institutional money buying. And the issue comes into, like we said yesterday, were they just short covering, or are we seeing a bunch of profit taking down here? So all this buying is just profit taking. And every time we get a lower, we just get profit taking. So yesterday they just covered profits all day. And so if that's the case, right, and they covered profits all day yesterday, and we get above yesterday's point of control, which is right around that 70 level, which we saw act as an extremely big level, above that level should take us back up to that 3900, if this is kind of the key thing. We do see the tick get kind of wild later on in the day, but even then, I mean, for the most part, you don't really see, I mean, you see most of the ticks still hang out above zero. So that'll just be something that I'll be paying attention to today. If we keep seeing that, you know, where the ticks are just pinned above the zero line, that's kind of a sign of institutional money buying, I think. And that's going to be a leader in kind of our analysis moving forward as far as what we can assume is up next for us. Morning, Double R. Israel, good morning. Jay Clark, good morning. Good night. But so far, I mean, we do still have 10 minutes until the open, so we could get a little bit of a push down, get back below yesterday's low, but it looks like we're going to be opening up inside yesterday's range. And so for, you know, for the first kind of the first 30 minutes most likely going to be fairly choppy. We do have news. Remember, we have a Fed speaker coming out. Morning, Roach. Morning, John. You know, so we can expect probably some choppiness, maybe a little bit of volatility, depending upon what the Fed's up to this early morning. It's a better odds to just remain patient. Remember, with balance rules in play, if we do break this spike, the first thing that we want to do is monitor for continuation. If there's no continuation, then we want to fade back to the mean. Let's take a peek at pre-market volumes real quick. Apple's pre-market is about the same. AMD is about the same. Amazon's a little bit shy here. Google's double. Which way is Google heading? Google's heading down pre-market and their pre-market volume's double. Google might be on watch today. Same thing with Meta. Meta's heading down and they're on bad volume as well. Microsoft, light volume after a smackdown yesterday. Netflix, volume is relatively the same, pretty light. Nvidia, volume is relatively the same. The SPY had more volume yesterday. Well, that's pretty much it. Market trying to push lower here before the open. This thing may want to look a little bit lower here. All right, now we're motivated and we're ready to rock and roll. Yeah, for sure, Jason. Glad I can help. Lecker, good morning. Pop, good morning. Let's get after it. All right, we got about 4 minutes here. Actually, like 3.5 minutes. Now's the time really to finalize everything and get ready for the day, right? Remember, patience is going to be a virtue today. We're opening up inside yesterday's range. There's nothing wrong with letting the market kind of figure itself out and and then, setting it up as the levels start to set. A lot of times I really don't like to keep these inside levels, and I think I'm just going to erase them. Just because they can cause a little bit of issues. We know where our resistance is at. We know where our support was at yesterday. We didn't quite get down there, but that'll be kind of our LIS. All right, I'll take a quick commercial break, and I'll be back in 2 minutes. All right. All right, Liquor. You're on a 10-minute delay today. So it'll be like you can see the future almost. Twenty seconds. All right, there's the bell. Tight range, a little bit of volatility. Deciding if they like this price. We're right at value. Can you guys hear me? It'll be working. I don't know why it keeps telling me that. Reggie, thanks for liking the stream. A little bit of a push down here. They're targeting that 43.40 level. That was that kind of that range from yesterday, and then the low of yesterday is 36.5. So you see that first look down, they didn't get it. The breath is opening up. But negative here. Let's toss this in the Discord.
Oh, what was I gonna say? You said something and I was gonna reply to it, and then it took me a minute because my mic was muted. Damn.
Oh, if
Stupid
you
thing.
could hear me.
Yeah, oh, I could hear you. Yes.
Yeah.
Your audio did something weird where it like sort of faded, but we could still hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I think it came back. For some reason, it's like I have like too many things that register as a microphone when I plug them into my computer, and so like they're all like battling for power. Sometimes I feel like. And then Discord just fucks with your audio. Like it tries to be in charge of all audio when you have it open. So sometimes it tries to like overpower or like change what devices it's getting in. What the fuck is this thing? Never seen this thing in my life. So we see the tick here pinned at 1,000, negative 1,000. And so a lot of times when we see this, when we see a tick that's pinned at 1,000, remember we saw this on Monday, we saw that that positive tick was holding above 1,000. The market tried to go down. So this is telling us here, if we rally back above the open, that is normally a buy signal when we have something like this, because that's a pretty decent sized move, right? You got selling, obviously. They weren't able to push price much lower, and then you got a pretty decent rally that rallied to half back. If the selling was strong, they wouldn't let that thing rally to half back. They would just keep selling it. Not that they're not gonna, but we're talking about strength here. You can see the breath is firmly negative, -5 here. We open up on a CME gap, or as I call it, a Peter Resnicek gap. And all the sector boxes are pretty negative. You can see tech just getting smacked early on, healthcare getting smacked early. I mean, everything just taking a beating besides energy and utilities. Some good volume coming in down here. We're below the Globex low. That opens the door for this prior day low and this point of control down here around this 33.5 VPOC. And so this will be, if we get down to this VPOC, that's going to be the key moment here. Are we going to see buyers buy here responsibly, or are they going to go fix this poor low? Tick still pinned at negative 1,000. Breath not picking up, but what's this breath? Oh, 3.7 on the open. Oh yeah, it is picking up. Never mind. There's 3.7 on the NYSE on the open. Mechanical bounce right off that prior day low. 37 contracts traded on the bid, right on the low. Now we have another poor low. And like I said, a rally to half back is a sign of weakness. So if this thing rallies to half back, which it's not yet, but if it does, that's a sign of weakness. And not a sign of weakness like, oh, we can just close our eyes and buy, but it's a sign of weakness telling us that sellers aren't that strong. And that means most likely their stops are up here above the open. So if we are able to get this tick above zero, we're able to crack this open. We see a little bit of life coming in the market, which we are seeing, right? You see the weighted AD even positive with all these sectors red, which is just crazy. But if we see that, that can give us a sign to be going with that, and we should get a nice little stop run, especially because that's right into some single prints from the overnight session. So we can assume a little bit of liquidation helped this move down right before or leading into the open. Weighted AD is trying to get a little bit negative here. The breadth was about 5.7 down here at the low. Don't get lured in, guys. I know you're like, oh, fuck, I want to buy this. Thing's gonna fucking rage. Just wait, right? I mean, the open's only, 20 or 15 handles higher, 12 handles higher. Like, I mean, you can wait for it to establish above the open to get long, right? It's not gonna murder you. And you might, if it doesn't get above the open, there's gonna be opportunities to fade, and there's still opportunity to fade because this low is very mechanical. So there's decent odds, even if this thing does rally, that this low still doesn't hold. A little bit of absorption here from buyers on this 38.75. See what sellers got. Sellers are getting some downticks, but these buyers look to try to be absorbing right here. Sellers should be able to break this low though. So there it is. See if they can get that point of control. They got it. A little bit of short covering there. Watch for backing and filling, but they need to push it back below this 35 now. So, okay, so some nice selling. That's mechanical selling off that prior day's low. Careful with that. Might get a little bit more of a retrace. Why are these not showing? There we go. You guys can see this. Here's your advanced decline on the NYSE, advanced decline on the NASDAQ, negative 1700, negative 1700. New boxes that I got from Peter yesterday. There's a little bit of a retracement past that prior day low, right? So mechanical sellers tried to move down. Siri, get the fuck out of here. Mechanical sellers tried to move down and sell that prior day low. They got squeezed up a little bit. And then now you're seeing sellers came back in from around that 40. Or lows. Heading contracts on this low. Weak spots 33.25. Let's see if we can keep selling. A lot of trades on that low. 31. Yeah, you got almost 1,000 lots straight on the low tick. There they go. What's interesting here is look at the size of this 1 minute bar. So our ATR is 3.5, so that's about a 3-point range. But this is 34 down to 26, so about an 8-point range, so about double the ATR, but not an increase in volume. That's interesting, right? Because if we got an increase in volume, we'd get a color change on our bar, but no real increase yet. Seeing all the volume come in here at the 28 though, right at the low. That's kind of interesting. 11 contracts on that low tick. Shorts cover on that. 29.5. It looks like some bids tried to step up here. See what they have. Roach, are you in here? Or if anyone in here watching the DOM, look at 31.5. See 800.
Yeah, I'm here, but
829 contracts straight on the bid, 0 on the ask at 31.5.
yeah, it's not. It happened this morning. So I noticed about 4:45 this morning. It happened. I watched it.
What the fuck's going on lately? This is not something that I see happen very often.
And they came back and fixed it too, even early this morning. So see if they come back and fix that.
They've got to come back and fix that at some point.
Yeah. Well, at some point, I wonder how. I think they're going to come right back. We'll see.
I'm gonna buy 100 lots at 31.25 and sell them all at 31.5.
Yeah, I don't know if I never noticed before, unless you. I don't know. I don't know if that's been going on and I just never noticed.
I have not seen it, and I've watched the DOM
Yeah.
like pretty much all day.
Yeah. I don't know what that is.
What's weird is if you look at a footprint at 31 half. Let me pull up this oh no, it is. It's 892 and 0. Oh yeah, never mind. No play for the bot today. Volume was low. Yeah, volume seems low, which is weird. Especially with this kind of move, honestly. You would assume it to be a little bit elevated with a quick liquidation. But this is what we've been seeing like almost every single day, I feel like. Haven't like I mean, I feel like every single day the first thing we do is we liquidate off of the open, and then we've rallied a couple times, or we've just started a B-shaped profile for the rest of the day. I feel like it's the same play over and over, and it's just like a balance play. That's why I kind of think that institutional money's buying the dip here. But I don't have like a Wall Street or pit training, so I don't know. Here it comes.
Yeah, 1,200 some just.
Fixed.
Yeah.
A little bit of volatility kicking in. We should be getting some data right now. That's why it's 9:45. We're getting the PMIs, I think. Yeah. So PMI just came in 45. Services PMI 44.7. Better than expected on both. See that offer right there? So that's how you know the offer is 31 half. That's where it's at. So no longs until you get above that minimum. And I'd still wait for the open, to be honest. I mean, there's going to be a nice responsive long, I'm sure, at some point, but we don't know. Let's turn this gray until we can confirm opportunity to get long. I'll be right back, guys. So this is an interesting look here, guys. You've got semi-single prints here around like the 34. And the tick is starting to try to climb back up here. So if there is any break above, I have my stop at 30. I mean, you could move your stop to that 31.75. But if there is a break above this VPOC here, I think that their target is probably this like 34. So that's why I moved my stop down. Yeah, I think I'm gonna flatten. It's close. I'm gonna move my stop down 29 now. So right here, just if it goes, then I'll just be good and gone. Tick's climbing above 0. And I think their target here is the 34. Watch for the offer that 34. Especially if whoever the seller was down here at this 31.50 looks like they took profit at 25. A little bit of selling here right on this 34. That's what we kind of expected. Good morning, Eldora. So now the key here really is to see the reaction. So we get a reoffer. They're not able to kind of fill these single prints, so we can assume that the selling initially is buyers, right, taking profit that were trapped right here from above, right? They didn't get a chance to cover there, so they got close back to their break even, and now they start to cover right at the prior day's low, right below the prior day's low, because they were buying that low. You can see they got stopped out, and they're probably covering there. So the key here now is we kind of take our profile and we split it, and I mean, it's like we have tapering off the low, we have our point of control. So as long as we're above this 28, there's good odds that we go back and test this prior day low, this poor low. So there is some opportunity to be a bit responsive off of this level here now, even though there is some overall negativity. But as long as the market continues to start to improve, right, even though the market looks bad right now, as long as the market continues to improve, there's some opportunity to take this market a little bit higher. See, this is where that seller came in, I think, right at 31, and we came back up, and I think they're covered here. It'll be interesting to see how this 34 acts. That should give us some indication. And then remember, when we're thinking about value here and how acceptance and everything works, we're down into this previous day's value, but we're below yesterday's low. So if we get back inside yesterday's range above the 36.5, we want to see the VPOC move up. Maybe not right on this 36.5 because it's the prior day's low, but we want to see volume shift up. We want to see the VPOC shift up. That would give you sign of strength for continuation to the upside. If that doesn't happen and the market just comes up here and starts to rotate back down, well, there's good opportunities that the low is going to get tested again if that happens. So there's kind of your two setups here. You're looking for responsive longs close to this 28 to take up above that 34, and that's probably where you'd be selling into strength. And then that prior day's low, if the market can get accepted above that, we'd be looking for the open, right? Value area low from the previous day for the most part. Failure to do that, and you see the market just kind of roll over or just kind of pop up here like it's doing now, but just kind of fail to really climb up above here, up towards the open and stay above this 36.5, then there's good odds that that low gets tested, and then there's a fade opportunity. So that's why I say sell into strength here, because if you're trying to hold through this, and a seller comes in, no buyers show up, this thing could fade all the way back down to the 28 to your entry. You're going to want to be flat, and because the low is probably going to go. In my best estimation. Apple's on the rage here, though. A little bit of volume moves up there above the 30. You guys see that? And then now we're seeing some trapped sellers here on this 31. Nasdaq trying to rally here as well. 6 positive. So there's the test of the half back. There's the sign of weakness from the sellers. That's confirmation. We're holding the 36 right there. You see the volume that came in. We're holding that 36 so far. So next level up's 48. And then they should try to test the open, but remember they can still fail up here as well. P period opens up. So you tap one tick above the prior day's low there and that B high, then start selling again. Seeing the weighted AD pick up. Back above the prior day's low. So it kind of looks like a look below the prior day's low. Next level up, I think, is 48. Let's see if our POC shifts up here. That's what we're looking for. That can be confirmation. Pick is lightening up here. Come on, give us what we want. Let's see this POC shift up, and then we can go test that open. Give the people what they want. Sellers are aggressive here again on the 40. What it looks like. See that little pushback down right there. Little chop, chop, chop right here. We're in a tight range, 38 to 34, it seems like so far. Really tight. We're waiting for this thing, like I said, just to get above that 36.5, the block to shift up. There's opportunity there. Block shifts up. Below the prior day's low. That's responsive buying. I think people are misconstruing this as selling. I could be wrong though. Nobody knows what the market's gonna do. And if anyone tells you that they know what it's gonna do, they're just full of shit. VWAP's right below the open as well. See? Free money there. I don't know what the fuck's going on now, but fucking time is it? It's 10:08. Weighted AD's flipped positive, but coming back down to zero there. Or high right above the open. I'm looking at the news. If anyone sees anything, um,
AMD had news about AI chips, but doesn't sound like it's very big.
Brad, if you look at a footprint on like 39.75, the 40 quarter, I see that a lot within zeros, like when stops come out.
oh yeah, on a stop run, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I usually don't see it on the dome because you know why? It just hit me though after we were talking about it. I don't usually see it on a dome because I don't usually reset my footprint that often, so you don't really notice, you know. But on a footprint, I see it quite. It's pretty common to see, like you said, when a stop wrong. You know, when you blow through a level,
Right.
you don't
Yeah.
get a chance to trade that other side.
Yeah, and see, and I'm resetting my DOM like all the time because I don't really use the footprint that much. I just use that bid-ask profile that's on the DOM.
Yeah. I use both. I don't look at a footprint as much as I used, but I used to see that a lot.
A lot of buyers trying to lift the offer right here on this 44, but unsuccessful. Russian Kremlin says Russia is to announce a truce in Ukraine from 12 a.m. on January 6th until 24 on January 7th. So that's what that pop was. You see sellers heavy right there on the 44. They took that over. If they pop that, then it's probably the open or the VWAP, I guess, a little bit above. What's the open? 52. Okay. And I'm free falling. So there's the VWAP again, 48. Could be good for. And so you guys see what I mean? Like,
49 quarter.
I don't know what it was. Like, but I mean, just based off of how the market was acting there, right? Like, I mean, basically exactly what we wanted to happen happened, right? We talked about it. We talked about how the VPOC was low, right? And we wanted to see it shift up above the 6350. It did. And then we talked about how that 48 and then the open was the test. So hopefully you guys were ready for that. It did happen fast, but if you were already ready for the position, your profit target should have just been taken, instantly. I didn't even have time to move any of my profit targets. I actually closed the full position at 48. Yeah, 1 day Christmas truce for Ukraine, Eric. Yeah, that's basically what it is. This January 6th thing, I don't know if you guys have heard about it. The only reason I've heard about it is my kids. They say, like, if you didn't get something you want for Christmas and you ask for it on the 6th, then you're supposed to get it or some shit. I told my kids to say, you didn't get what you wanted for Christmas this year, better write Santa a letter and maybe next year. Christmas is fucking over. You got out 49.25? Nice. You got out better than I did. Good work, John. And above the open, really, the only resistance is up like 72 to 76, I think. Another retail holiday. Yeah, Jason, that's a good call. Yeah, like Black Friday. That's the thing that kills me, dude. Like, I hate. I think that all businesses, except for like, maybe like a skeleton crew at like the grocery store, or like not even the grocery store, like the gas station, like you can get whatever you need at the gas station. The grocery store should be closed because it takes a lot of people to just, even a skeleton crew at a grocery store takes a lot of people. But a gas station, like Christmas Day, the day after Christmas, even the day before Christmas, like it sucks, like a lot of people like that's when they go like return all their shit that they got that they didn't like. It's just, I don't know. Christmas is supposed to be a time where you're happy like to be just together with family. It's not really supposed to be about gifts, I don't think. So even with this rally here, I don't know, this is just kind of a sloppy mess, honestly, this B period. I think the best thing that we can do here is wait another 14 minutes until C period opens up and gives us some more information, right? Some more MGI that we need to position ourselves correctly for the possible next move. I do still like a break of the open. It's just that I don't know if I like this long down from this like 36, 38 area again. Even though the POC's shifting up, we're leaving weak spots of volume, which is indicating trapped sellers here. So we've got like trapped sellers down to 31. It looks like we're getting trapped sellers here on a 40, 41. Remember we had that offer came in 40, pushed it down to the low, and then got a little pop back up. So they're still trying to sell this 40, 41 here, but they could be getting trapped here, and then that could be the fuel for the next squeeze higher, I think. But with all the sectors still kind of rolling over, weighted ADs coming back, you'd figure a nice big pop like that. We'll see how buyers respond right here with the tick getting down to 0. But too much below. Nasdaq's looking, like shit. The Nasdaq's pulling back down to the support too. So the Apple's coming off its high. The Dow didn't make a new high. Didn't even make a poor high. Neither did the Nasdaq did. Excuse me. Like burping going on today. The dollar's pressing against its high right now. The VIX is just chilling, not doing much.
You see 9/4 right now with nothing on it. Yeah, now they just filled it.
39/4?
Yeah, they just filled it. They had 0 on the side, on the bid side or the offer side, and then they came back and filled it. Like I said, I see that a lot. I just don't usually see it on the dome because I'm not, you know, um, refreshing that little footprint on the side.
Oh yeah.
I do it like if I get in a zone where I'm looking to buy or sell, I'll do it. But now I've been doing it more since I talked to you, and I'm seeing it. It happens a lot.
Offers on the 40 again. VIX back below 0. We're pressing against the trend here. We had a first little uptrend. A break of this trend, puts that 28 back into play, I think. A lot of volume coming in right here around half back. And you figure any news coming out of Ukraine as far as the war stopping, even though it's just a 1 day treaty, which is why the rally didn't sustain. But if they were to come out and announce that they're going to be, you know, not fighting as much anymore or canceling the war, the market should rally, because before the war, inflation was decently under control, and then we keep sending a lot of money to support the war, so people can assume that if we're not sending billions of dollars in aid, that inflation will probably come down a little bit. So we're breaking that trend here, and remember that level down was 28. That was a big level earlier, so let's see if they push back down there to try to test it here. Getting a little bit of defense on that prior day's low. And this is an area where it's going to squeeze from above the 41 if it can. You could almost probably put like a buy limit order at the 41 half, 42, and you'll probably decent to take the open. Or at least a VWAP 49. All right, it's 10:22. We're almost 1 hour in. Everyone stand up, take a deep breath, take it out. Look at a wall that's farther away. All right, blink your eyes. A lot of times your eyes will get strained staring at a screen all day and you don't even realize it, and then you get headaches and get tired even. You wonder why you're so tired. Well, staring at a screen for extended periods of time. Selling coming in there. Decent selling coming in on the 36. Down to the 28. Seven minutes still until C period opens up, and B period still inside of A period. A break of the B low or A low probably targets this 14 here. We know, well, we assume that we're coming down to 28 right now, and we'll look for the reaction at 28, but a break of that A low, we can assume that 14 half is probably going to be the target. Five minutes. Watch above the 41.5. Bid steps up 38. There it goes. Bid another bid at 40. Buyers are following price up right there. And literally popped to that 41.5 and then get back to it.
Yeah, seller came in on 40 even.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
You can see if he gets run over now.
He's about to get run over.
Yeah, I think so. And then go back up.
I'm fucking driving right now, so. Just downshifted and about to hit the NOS button on him. I mean, you wonder though, because like the market looks weak as fuck, so it's tough. But the market looks super weak, and yet we haven't really gone down too much. Even that most recent downtick, we get to that 32, we're almost negative 1,000. Almost the lowest tick of the day for the most part. After we cross the zero line, hit the reset button, it is the lowest tick of the day. But yet we couldn't make a new low in the session, so. But also, like with your longs, you can't just be assuming that we're gonna just fucking sky off the trade right away, because like I said, I think institutional money is trying to hold the market down so they can buy everything up here. That's what it seems like to me. Fed buying stocks behind the scenes. I mean, maybe it's the Fed. It's some to me. It feels like some type of institutional trader. All right, so B period finishes inside A period, indicating balance. And if you guys are looking at this thing here that says gap, it's talking about the CME gap. So it's still 21 points above the current high to fill the CME gap. Found this on ThinkScript. So back below that prior day's low here. Look to see for acceptance here. I think you're good to get short here at this 32, to be honest. Maybe not. Come on, take. See what you can do. No break of the B low yet. Well, let's see if we can get a break of B period here. Break of the B low, I think, is going to get that test of 28. I know that's not much lower, 4 points lower. But depending upon how it acts at the 28, you're looking to test that 1450. The A low first, obviously, but then the 1450. So far, a little absorption or short covering there on that 32. It looks like buying, actually. Energy's breaking its uptrend right now, so this thing could start rolling over actually here pretty good. Yeah, energy's breaking its uptrend from the open here, so there it goes. So look for 28 here. We're looking for the reaction. $490 lots is sitting on the 30 right here. Morning, BJ.
Dang, this thing can't seem to find a home, can it?
Nope.
Counts are 22 and 92. They've been kind of back and forth. They've been definitely favoring the low end or the bottom side, but downside, sorry, that's the term. But it hasn't really necessarily been clear.
Yeah, there's been no conviction at all.
And I'm
Like, I
about to
mean,
get
this thing.
stopped out again.
Are you short?
Yeah.
From where?
33. I was looking at where it broke the low of B and I was wanting to see if it would get continuation. It's pretty tight stop. 30, I guess 34 quarter. I had a pretty tight stop, so it wasn't like it was a big deal. So, oh well. But that just means that I have to switch back to sim now. Yeah, this thing hasn't really, I was just trying to get a quick couple
I mean,
few
I think
points.
I think you're on the right side, honestly. I mean, it's like, or you're on the right track right there, especially just like taking that to see if it's going to go,
Exactly.
and then just managing risk. I mean, that's not really. I think that's not a bad trade.
Well, I saw that it was because it pretty quickly went down and it sort of kissed that next to the last one from B and then went back up, and that was where I got in. And then it went back down and pushed through it, and I was like, oh, let's see if we get continuation, and then it popped back up, and I was like, all right, whatever. I probably should have just taken what little I could get out of it, considering how volatile it is.
Yeah, so like on those trades, like, 'cause it did go, 2 points in your profit because you went 33.
Yeah, I know.
So
I was 30. I think it was 34 quarter. I had, you know, 3.5 points or 4 points in profit, so I should have just dumped it out. But I was like, I wanted to see if it would go further, and I had a meeting, and unfortunately, I couldn't completely pay attention to it. But I was
yeah,
like,
it's okay.
I mean, it's one contract in MES. I was like, well, I'll just take a chance and see what happens.
Morning, Jed.
Of course, the trade I did in Sim is now 10 points in profit that I took at 43 way a long time ago, right at the beginning of C, or right before C opened. Because I just wanted to, I kind of felt like the downside was the right side. And I wanted to see the Sim prove it to me. Yeah, I probably should have just, I just didn't want to move my stop too far.
Well, I mean, so like what I'm saying is like you get short at this. You got short at 33, right? When it came down to the 30 and didn't get continuation, as soon as it comes back above that B low, that's where you should cut it
Okay,
because you were looking
that's
for that
good.
continuation right away.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is exactly what I should have done.
Because I mean, right now, as much as the market is saying it wants to go down, it's really not doing a good job at going down, and we're still within the A period range. So the market's really just balancing kind of at this lower level. Um, and if you're not going to get that continuation right away, then the position can probably be abandoned, especially when you're away from the mean, because the odds are in favor of the market moving back to the mean while we're remaining in balance.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
I think sellers got stuck on 30.75 a couple times. They want first time and now again when it came back down. I
You see
wanted to
how,
buy it the first time, but with that big 500 lot sitting there, I wouldn't buy it because I figured they're going to take that out.
yeah. You see all the bids stacking above that 500 lot too? There's like,
Yeah, they're all leaning.
yeah,
They're all leaning on.
yep.
That's what scares me though. As soon as they get,
Well, if the market
you
comes
know,
down,
like,
they're gonna jump out of the way.
yeah, exactly.
Where are they at, right?
That,
Where are they at?
They're
Sitting?
like scattered from like 30 quarter all the way up to like 33. And they're just trying to chase price up and lean on this big bid that's in the market. But the big bid's at 30 484 lots. Now you're seeing some of the bids jump up here to 36.75, like they're getting nervous they're going to miss the trade. There's a little FOMO coming in from buyers here.
Yeah, people, usually that's interpreted as like bullish if the bids follow up. I don't like, when I'm in a trade and I'm long, I don't like bids following me up. I don't want them big ones, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think sometimes they're trying to fake the market. You know, it's like they're trying to bullshit it high. If it's gonna go, it's gonna go. You know? And then sometimes they come back and take them out on you.
Yep.
There's that 40 even.
Yeah, I'm looking at 42 still. I'd like to see 42 get popped. Or 41.5. They're absorbing here at this 40. They're trying. Looks like they're getting stuck on the 40 right there.
Yeah, there's your pop 41.5. Right?
Yep. Let's see if we can get the buyers to start lifting here. Now look at all the bids stacked up to 37, and there's nothing below.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I should say I don't like big bid. You know what I mean? Them 400 lots, 300 lots following me up.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, out of the ordinary.
Buyers are having trouble here on the 41, so they popped the 40, which was where that kind of battle was, but it looks like they're having trouble here on the 41 now. And we're back down to the 40. I know it's a tight little range, but C period high is mechanical high too, 42. Sellers being aggressive here on the 41. With initial balance narrow 30 points seems like setting up for a bigger move. Yeah, a lot. That's a good observation. A lot of times, Thomas, when we do have a very narrow initial balance, most of the time when it breaks out of either side, it ends up turning into a trend day. A lot of trading going on here from like 43 to 40. Watch a pop of 41.5 again here. Or 41. Looks like some stuck buyers on the 41 quarter. If buyers can't get back above that 41 quarter and kind of fix that mechanical C high, then back to rotation.
It always makes it harder for me when the bot doesn't get in, because then I don't have something to base it off of.
Hmm.
I mean, not to say that the bot's always right, but it's more right than it's wrong, and that kind of gives me an indication of.
Yeah. Then you can be specific and stuff.
Well, and then the other thing is that the counts have flip-flopped. So now the counts are 95 and 22. So it's like, I would say this, when I know, or when I do the worst is when I'm looking at the counts and the counts are showing me one direction, but I'm looking at other data. And not to say that the tick is some, I mean, like half the time it's neutral, where I'm getting in and I go against what the counts are telling me, and then I end up actually losing. So it's, the counts are usually, well, have been a good indication for me, which are now, but of course today they've been all over the place. They've been flipping back and forth, which is not a good sign. It's always better when they just sort of focus on one direction and they just run that way.
Market's so weak in both directions, it's crazy.
But I think you brought some California weather with
I guess so. It's nice, huh?
you. Yesterday I was out in a t-shirt.
Yeah, I had shorts on yesterday.
I wear them even in the
Mhm. Get weighted flipped back to negative here. Ticks getting back below zero. We're back below that prior day's low. You're wondering if they want to test this trend line again, down like 24. Weighted AD's picking up here. Tick is picking up as well. There's that 30. There's where that big bid's at.
I'd be shocked if they don't take that 30 out this time.
Yeah.
I'm not betting on it, but there it goes.
We should go 28 here. A lot of selling at the 30 again. So we tap the 28 and catch a little bit of a bounce there. A little bit of short covering came in on the 28 again. Tick hit hit 1,000 there. Getting back inside that B range. So if we get accepted here, back to that B range, we should trade back to the mean. Like, watch the tick. So where's Discord at? Still, I mean, everything still remains down for the most part, you know? It's just no conviction, no follow through yet. So, still tough day. I took a decent responsive trade right there, but I'm out now, flat. Sellers still coming in on the 30. You've got to see them pop the 34 for any more upside. 33.5. It's like where that weak volume's at in the last 30 minutes. Weighted AD's picking up. And remember, you know, we talked about if they break that A low, that target's going to be that 14.5. And then really the poor low, 38.04, could be a look down there. Three minutes till deep period. I'll be back, guys. I think we have Euro close coming up soon too. Right? Like 30 minutes or soon. It's at 28 here. Look at all the volume down here. Here comes D period. Short covering initially right off the D period open. Look to see if they close these Brad prints here. If they don't get back inside B period, we should be clear here to continue downside. Remember that big bid was right here at the 30. And it got filled, so we didn't really bounce much from it. Like, I mean, I think we bounced up to like 33.5 and that was it. Peter said there's an H pattern forming, kind of. And if we go to the shadow trader glossary on H, click on a pattern. So you can kind of see he does it on the 15 minutes, but a technical pattern that often brings an erratic action until it's resolved. The pattern is formed by a large down move that is relatively one-sided with little consolidation within it, followed by a lower high bounce that retests the prior low, forming a lower case h. The H stands for hell for shorts, as most traders mistakenly short the retest of the initial low and are often frustrated when prices fail to move lower. This pattern can exhibit on any time frame, but is most often viewed on dailies of major averages and index futures. The snapshot below is from a daily ES. So this is on a daily ES. But he's talking about it on the 15-minute here. So he's talking about this here. And most of the time it bounces is what he's saying on a daily. But it can be, he views it on a 15-minute chart. This thing may want to come all the way down to 20. There's a big bid at 20, or bigger bid at 20. I don't know, to me, so here's what I'm thinking, guys. I'm thinking that short-term time frame traders are in control today, right? Obviously, it's a fairly mechanical day. And so this C high here is unlikely to hold for the rest of the day. And so we're thinking, where's the best time to get in for that, right? And the best time to get in is on some excess. So D just put in a little bit of excess here. It left a excess. So we got in on the excess there. We're getting the tick trying to power over 0 here. And, you know, in reality, I kind of think that, you know, any break of that C high can take the poor high as well, because that would be like a complete reversal of short time frame traders. So there's opportunity really to like try to get on with the excess and manage risk, or to wait to see this C high get taken, how the market acts, and then you can take a safer, probably a safer trade, but a smaller trade, right? So like if the market comes up here, fixes this mechanical high, there's good odds that it comes up here after that, fixes this mechanical high. So there's opportunity here from 44 to 52. There was opportunity here. We're kind of popping now, but this was the opportunity I was talking about. So watch this C half back, which is like 34 half maybe. A little bit of selling at the B low. Yeah, see, so it came right up to 34. So the offer was at 37 up here. 35, 75, 37. This area here, this 34 area earlier was like an area where buyers like just, you know, failed from. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see some sellers stack on the C half back, knowing how weak the buyers are so far today. I mean, they've been able to push them back down below 0 pretty much every time. And we were one time framing down still. Values, you know, lower, not even overlapping. Buyers are pretty weak so far today. Only being responsive, really. And remember that B period really only went up to the open based off of news. So we see the tick rally right there, but didn't even rally to 500 and is now kind of coming back down a little bit. Apple's right in the middle of its range too. It's just kind of chilling. Let's see if the low holds or folds. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a big bid down at 20. I thought we were going to go down there and test that 20, to be honest. That's the value area low as well. One of those previous days, so it makes sense. What's the VIX doing? Nothing. Nasdaq looks like. Very choppy, Dr. BJ. Yeah, it's a mess. One thing that I'm really keying in on here is like anything that's above this 32, this B low here, this 31 half, 32 area. Anytime it's above that, it really just pulls me off my short. You know what I mean? I'm just like, ugh, I'd rather just wait to get higher to sell if I'm gonna do anything above that. But below that, like there's opportunity to get that little continuation. But if it gets accepted back inside B range, that kind of tells me that we're going to go from these four TPOs. Like, so we had three, right? ABC. Now we've got ACD. So value is shifting lower. So I still like, and then I mean, pretty much everything is telling us, you know, low, you know, we just haven't seen any continuation. But basically it's like, if we're getting back accepted inside this B range, then we just went from building 3 TPOs here, we're building 4 here. If this thing keeps going higher, then we're going to start building 4 higher, and so then value is going to be shifting from the low back up to the mean, and that increases the odds of the test of the high to create excess to finish the auction up here on a day that's just controlled by mechanical traders, by like day time frame traders. The dollar. Take a peek at the dollar. I need to look at the daily chart on the dollar. I have the dollar chart up, but it's on a 10-minute chart, so I can see like what it's doing right now. Put on 1 minute. Yeah, so we have an alert on the dollar at 105.85. And that's kind of where I think it's going to run into a resistance area. But yeah, I mean, I think the dollar could, I don't know if it's making for another leg higher. I mean, it's still respecting trend here pretty well. It is trying to break up for sure. The 200 moving average is right there above it on the daily. The dollar, I mean, the dollar really still looks strong though, like especially if you look on a longer time frame, at least for like the past 10 years. But it got beat up pretty bad, pretty fast, I feel like the dollar did. What was that, just September? It was like 114. Let's look at XLF too, financials. Because they just broke out of trend. Financials look kind of strong. Longer term. Today they're not looking amazing. But longer term they don't look bad. Oh, Paparuski there. So look for them to try to get that that C high. That would be a sign. Well, it'd be a cessation of one time framing, so it'd be a sign of completion of an auction for sure. And then two, a sign that buyers are able to break a mechanical high. Flush.
They sold the shit out of that little rally there.
Yep. Let's see, they could get back below this B low. That's where they keep covering it, underneath of this B low. And now you're seeing that big bid. Look at that big bid stepping up. It was on 32, now it's 31 quarter. It's like hopping around right here, trying to like look at that. It's right at the bid.
Yeah, trying to push the market up.
Yeah, it is pushing the market up. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't trust.
You sold it off the half back. Nice. Oh, they did. Yeah, they sold it off. Yeah, off the half back. Exactly. Right, and so and that's a good point, John. Like, so if you're taking a if you're taking a long there, right, looking at this profile, thinking it's like a B shape, right, and expecting to get short covering at the lows, you're looking to cover in front of those mechanical references. So like in front of the prior day's low and in front of that half back. Because that's where you could expect selling, you know? Funded futures trading, I would say that Sierra charts is my favorite as far as the TPO goes. I haven't messed with Window Trader, but that's probably the best. But to learn the basics of the TPO, you know, Sierra charts will do the trick. It does pretty much everything that what's it called does. Window Trader. It's just a different data service and things like that. Routine. Tick. Oh, just counting up all the references. Yeah. And so that's one thing that we were talking about yesterday, right? Jen over from Jim Dalton Trading talks about is sequencing. So we have like, you know, core high, mechanical high, mechanical high, you know, that's sequencing and decent odds are starting to increase of a maybe a later day move. Bonds are starting to pop pretty hard here off of the lows. Apple looks a lot better than the market does, but still kind of just sitting mid-range right at the halfback. NASDAQ even kind of flirting with its VWAP. Now NASDAQ actually looking better than the rest here. So there's going to be kind of your indicator really is if you don't have a NASDAQ chart up, just pull up a NASDAQ chart. If the NASDAQ starts to roll over and catch up with the ES and the Dow, which is looking like what's happening here, then you'll know for sure, you'll be good for confirmation to the downside continuation. But if the NASDAQ keeps pumping, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult for the ES to sell off. And you're seeing energy kind of like hold the market up 2 days in a row. Remember, it held the market up yesterday for a little while, and then if you guys stayed on in the Discord after the stream, pop this up, the market ended up rallying a little bit, but then it ended up selling off after. Like, it popped it up and felt like energy was kind of holding it up, and then a little sell off at the end of the day. And that's kind of what it seems like today. We had that kind of little pop up, and now we're kind of back down. Tighter range today, naturally only 30 points, but feels like energy's the only one that's holding the market. So if energy starts to break as well, and you could watch XLE for the energy sector, that could kind of tell you what's going to happen if it continues to break its uptrend. Yeah, and if you're new looking for the basics of the TPO, there's videos in the Discord as well, free videos that we made a long time ago, and they're worth a watch, I think. I'm biased though. Exactly, double R. Right. Exactly. And with that information, double R, what that tells us is that the odds of continuation, like if it does take the A low, the odds of like a big continuation are supposed to be lower, but I mean it's not looking great here. But if it is just short time frame traders, which it seems like it is, the odds of continuation after excess is not as high as it would be of reversion to mean. Not that you want to just be, putting a buy limit out there and just waiting for it to get hit, but yeah, so like a lot of times on mechanical reference days, you get a bigger move because these are all shorter time frame traders, right? So let's say and this could just be showing us the trap too. Like buyers are getting trapped, right? That's what this could be showing as well. So if a big player is coming in, that could cause a big move because all of these mechanical buyers that are short time frame traders are going to be liquidated, or they're going to liquidate, at a break of the level. So that's kind of what they're looking for, because if they've identified, like, let's say you're a bigger trader and you've identified this, you need that liquidity. You need this buying liquidity, basically. So if you have this, let's say if you have buyers trapped, right? Buyers trap, you need their liquidity of their stops to get out of the market. If you're a seller, right, you need their stop. So if a bigger seller came in, that's where they're looking to get out of the market. If they're just taking advantage. The way it can cause a big move is if there's a panic and all of these buyers, these mechanical buyers, flip to sellers and then just start, panic selling the market, and that'll just be easy to spot because we'll see really low volume and no value build. We'll just see, pure liquidation. Yes, breaking trend. There it is. So let's see if we get some excess here. If we put in a fucking poor low, that'd be hilarious. Volume is about 5% less. Or low with this context would just tell me how undecided the market is, and the market must just be waiting on tomorrow's economic calendar, which is a bigger expected move here with non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate. Those are two, unemployment change as well. So two big numbers tomorrow, two bigger numbers, I guess. Does that make sense, Double R? Yeah, small break of initial balance, yeah, or low. Yeah, these ranges are the best. Little 31 point range today. What's interesting is, I mean, the weighted AD is definitely getting lower. Like the market looks like it's might just break the low because it's just so weak. Not because there's a lot of selling, it's just there's just no buying, which can definitely happen, right? But the breadth is not as negative as it was when we were down here last time. Last time it was like negative 5.7 on the NYSE, and it was like negative 3 on the NASDAQ. But if you look at the NYSE AD and the NASDAQ AD, a lot more stocks are heading down. So if they stay pinned at like 1500, that could really indicate a trend starting to form. So we just had a lot of selling right there at that low and no push lower. So if you look at the NASDAQ right here, right, you're almost at like 1500 on the NASDAQ AD, 1400 here. If this thing gets back below 1500 and the market starts to push on the low, you could really get some trend starting to form. And remember, we're one time framing down still. E period's opening up inside D period's range, but below B period's low. So like we talked about, below that 32, we have this opportunity for continuation. We still haven't got it yet. But that's the place to manage risk from, basically. Yeah, a little stop run. Yeah, I agree. Let's see if we get another mechanical reference here on this E period, you might get your opportunity, especially if we get this on this D halfback or this D open, to use that B low as a stop. Hit 90% of yesterday's performance already, starting the year out well. Better discipline. Heck yeah, good stuff. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it here. I got some stuff I got to get done today, and then, just kind of get a workout in and then hang out a little bit. I'll be in the Discord screen sharing, so if anyone wants to jump in the Discord and chat, I'll have the sound on, so I'll be able to hear you guys. But other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. Make sure that you are managing risk and sticking to your trade plan, and I will see you all tomorrow.
See you, Brad.